have that effect though. Assalamu alaikum. This is the KIK representing the POBUMS Society. I am here with Lisa Limonez.
Well, it's Lisa Limonez.
All right. Introduce yourself.
I'm Lisa. I do massage. And Brandy invited me, so I'm very curious to see what kind of questions he has for me.
Now, you also do meditation too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Avid meditator.
All right. So let's jump into like the meditation aspect. When did you first start meditating, and what got you into like the meditation realm?
Well, I first consciously started meditating when I was in my early 20s, probably 20. And I had done a speech on how to meditate, and one of the forms just kind of stuck with me, where you visualize and count your breath. And I just did that over the years. But later on, I realized that I had been meditating since I was a child. I didn't realize it was meditation. And in fact, a lot of people think they don't meditate. And then as I start to talk about meditation, they realize that they do meditate. So sometimes we meditate consciously, and sometimes, I guess, less than consciously, we meditate. And when I meditate, for the most part, my motivation is to self-soothe. Is pretty much what it comes down to, a way to control my mind. It's what I've found is called meta-awareness.
So does it like slow down your thought process so like you can actually focus on like the now?
Yeah, it definitely, I mean, you can have a slow thought process and not be meditating. So that's, whether you're thinking quickly or slowly, doesn't necessarily equate to meditating exactly. Meditation is definitely hard to define, and so is consciousness.
Hey, so I was reading there's different forms of meditation. So how many forms do you know, or have you done that?
Okay, I would say there is probably as many forms as of meditation as there are people on the planet, because there's so many different ways to do it.
That's deep, son. That's deep.
But the first, like I said, conscious form of meditation I did was visualizing and counting my breath. I'll describe the meditation that I had done since I was a child, which is, as this book describes, this is how I discovered it was a form of meditation. You put your mind in a certain state where your subconscious mind will choose images to show you. So some people can like paint a picture in their mind, like I want to see a puppy, and they can consciously create that picture in their mind. Not everyone can do that, but a lot of people can. This is similar to that, but instead of consciously choosing the image, your subconscious mind chooses the image. It may appear as a slideshow, or one picture might morph into the next.
Now, does that type of meditation calm you down?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that type of meditation, as I would describe, as I'm learning about brain frequency. Right now, you and I are in beta brain waves because we're awake and we're adults. So
getting deep, son, getting deep.
Most likely we're somewhere between 15 and 40 hertz. As you start to meditate and relax, oftentimes that is a sinking feeling into the alpha brain waves, which is from 8 to 14 hertz. That's where the body starts to sleep, but the mind is still awake. Now there's this threshold of approximately 7 hertz or below, where you're in delta or theta waves. And that's typically when we're subconscious. Although I've found that you can be in those low theta or delta waves, but yet still be awake. But typically as adults, we're asleep in those lower frequencies.
Is it possible to be awake in beta, but dig into your subconscious?
Yeah, well, what I've found,
because usually I've always thought that the subconscious is always there, but like you're not aware of it. So how can a person, let's say, for instance, like now we're aware of each other, but let's say I wanted to be aware of myself, of my subconscious. Is there a way to do that? Because I normally find out the only way you really find out about your subconscious is like through dreams and stuff like that. So let's say a person is awake and they're meditating and they want to touch their subconscious. Is that a possible way to do it, or is it
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, I would say that typically when we're, when you talk about subconscious, that's so confusing, but typically when we're going in those lower frequencies of delta and theta waves below 7 hertz, that's typically when the subconscious mind will express itself. Typically, and also when we go deeper, because when you talk about subconscious, there's 2 aspects of it that I think of. There's meta awareness. So you have your thoughts, and then you have the observer of your thoughts. That's not really your subconscious, but that's a different part of your consciousness. That's typically what you're using when you're awake. You can have your, just be on autopilot and not even use your meta awareness. But when you go into the subconscious, like dream type states, that's related with low alpha or delta and theta. But then there's also like a state where you heal, but there's also where you can use what's called non-local consciousness. And that's what I like to explore. And that's, again, typically related with those lower ones. But what I'm finding is if we can train our brains, we can be aware of the subconscious or aware of that autopilot, what they call the, I forgot, it's just when you're on autopilot, you're not really thinking or thinking about your thinking.
You're just doing.
You're just going. Okay. Not on meta awareness, but non-local consciousness is when you're tapping into telepathy, clairvoyance, remote viewing, energy healing, and those types of things. That's an interesting state. But there's one other state, which is called gamma. That's when you go above beta, because we thought of just 4 states, but now there's 6. So I'm learning about the extra 2 on either end of that spectrum. And gamma is when the sympathetic, which is your fight or flight, and your parasympathetic.
Getting deep, son.
Are activated at the same time, and that's when you're above 40 hertz. It's kind of like that state when you're in the zone, Michael Jordan hitting all those, he's in gamma. That's where he's relaxed but energized at the same time.
Now let me ask you this.
I could go on forever. I'm rambling.
That's cool. Have you ever astral projected?
Not that I'm consciously aware of. I do conscious bending.
Now, do you believe in that?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
And in fact, many people that work for our government, because as you can scroll through the Freedom of Information Act, the government has successfully, had people remote view, which is essentially astral projection.
I have a friend, and he does it, and he can astral project. I've done it once, but I did it subconsciously, and I know I was doing it.
Yeah, that happens to people.
It scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, it can freak you out. I'm curious, does he only travel through space or time as well?
I don't know if he travels through
space,
but he can go to different people's houses and stuff like that.
But in that same time frame.
Yeah.
Because you can also time travel. If you can travel through space non-3-dimensionally, then hypothetically you could travel through time as well.
I don't know if it's just my phone, but it's frozen.
I'm shutting it down.
Can y'all see us or not? Is it still frozen, Nicole?
Oh, no.
Hope it's not frozen.
We just said all those words. The tech fairies.
Mike Acosta and Nicole, if it's still frozen, can you let us know? I think it might.
Hit that button? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we go wave at a person.
No, we can't. Oh, we can.
So hopefully it's not frozen. Maybe
I don't know. Maybe does it record still?
Yeah. So
okay.
Maybe it's just Nicole's phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the astral projection, I remember one time I was in bed asleep. Okay. Right.
Below 7 hertz.
I don't know.
If you're asleep, you're below 7 hertz.
And when I woke up, I guess I was awake and I was laying I was in my bed, but when I woke up, I was outside, laying on grass up on my back, and I could feel the grass in my fingers, and I'm looking up and I could see stars the top of the house. And then when I woke back up, I was back in my bed. Mm-hmm. So I think astral projected, and I didn't know, but it was scary as hell because I like actually felt the wet grass and stuff with my fingers, and like hear sounds outside and stuff. But when I woke up, I was back in my bed. I woke up like, what the hell just happened? And it only happened
How old
once.
were you?
It just happened probably like a couple months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I believe that human consciousness is collectively evolving, and that more of us are experiencing things like that more frequently.
But I think it was because I was under a lot of like stress and shit like that too. So I don't know if that played into it, but that's when I was like really like stress kind of whacked out a little, and it happened. And I was like, yeah, I was really
a couple
really
months
scared.
ago, huh?
Yeah.
Nah, don't be scared. Don't be scared. It's
Don't
natural.
be scared. Don't be scared.
How are we going to evolve? Not with fear.
True. I wonder if it's. Do you have your phone?
I can get my phone.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, it's cool. Go grab your phone, and we can see if it's still frozen or not. Lisa just went to go get her phone because I don't know if the picture is frozen.
Are we talking to ourselves?
Yeah, or we just here talking all this deep stuff.
Here, I'll let you. I'm back. Look at our faces.
I know, we're good.
I'm back. Oh, it's working.
Yeah.
Look at our faces.
Oh, where's the volume at?
Sorry, technical difficulties.
Now, we're back. Yeah. All right.
Where were we?
We're talking about astral projection and stuff. Now, keep this out. Now, I've done Zazen meditation for about 2 years. And so up at the dojo, maybe 10 years ago, I was taught that. And so like that has helped me a lot with like breathing and focus and concentration and like just calming the hell down.
Can you describe it? Or
it's basically seated meditation. So you go like this with your arm like this. Well, I was taught like this. The person that taught me, his name is Scott. So we take our hand like this, put your thumb out, you put this right above your belly button.
Above?
Yeah. Right above like your diaphragm. Now when you breathe in and breathe out deeply. And so like in order to focus the mind, like we count to 10 with each breath. So 1. Breathe in. 2. Breathe in. 3. And we do that up to 10, and then we come back.
It's relaxing.
Do it again. So that's how I was taught to do Zazen meditation and stuff like that. Like to breathe deep, and it just helps you.
Well, I have a saying: when you change your breath, you change your consciousness, and when you change your consciousness, you change your physiology.
You need to put that on a T-shirt.
Bumper sticker.
Now, peep this out. Now, you also do massages.
Yes.
How long have you been doing massages, and what got you into doing massages?
I've been doing massage for 23 years.
Damn.
Yep. And school before that, so it's been a long time. I got the guns to prove it. If I didn't have if I had a shorter shirt, I'd show you.
Said you got the guns.
So, so how long and what was the other question? Oh, what got me into it? Well, the main thing that got me into it was I couldn't sit still at a desk, which most jobs required sitting still. I later was diagnosed with ADD, so it made sense. So it was a job that I could do, and I didn't have to sit still because that's not an option unless I'm medicated. So was kind of the reason why I got into it, but I was so glad that I did because it's such a passion and it gave me purpose in life, which is important.
True.
So, I mean, other than being a parent, but it's nice to have a career that is also a passion. And one way to judge your profession is if you would do it even if you weren't being paid for it.
Exactly.
And that's a definite yes for me, because I love massage.
Now, let me ask you this. What are the different types of massages that you do or that you know about?
Okay, well, I'll just list the ones that I do, because I have quite a range of modalities.
Modalities.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and list them. It's Swedish, deep tissue, myofascial release, mobilizations. I don't consider myself an Asian body worker because I would have to study it for another year or so, but I do some acupressure, a form called Jin Shindo. I studied for about 3 months, but I use it quite a bit. And as of lately, my study has been on cranial sacral therapy, which is my jam. And that's, as I move forward with my career, I want 80% of my massages to be cranial sacral is my goal within 5 or 10 years, because it's not as taxing as like the sports massage, therapeutic structural massage.
Now, for us laymen, can you break down what cranial sacral therapy is?
Yes. It's a gentle pressure along the spine, mostly in the skull, with the intention of helping the person produce and distribute cerebral spinal fluid. When the spinal fluid...
Wait. Yeah. Say that again.
It's just a gentle pressure on the spine and in your skull to help the person produce and distribute the cerebral spinal fluid. And when the fluid moves really well through the brain and down the spine, it's deeply relaxing, sometimes to the point the person may go into a dream state. And out of the hundreds of times that I've done it, there's been a handful of times where people have had very meaningful, almost prophetic type dreams.
Oh.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's deep.
It is. If I'll take to say, I'll just go ahead and tell you a little bit how we are able to move your cerebral spinal fluid. We start by releasing the horizontal connective tissue and muscle around the spine. So that would include in your hip bowl, as I call it, the ilium, it's called. There's muscles inside the hips. The diaphragm, which is just below the rib cage. The thoracic inlet or outlet, however you want to look at it. We release this hyoid bone right here and the suboccipital. After we release all that, actually, 1 second.
Oh.
Here we go. This is a Halloween decoration, but it works. So you kind of are familiar with these sutures in the skull. Well, Dr. Upledger, who developed the cranial sacral technique for the most part with the help of other people, but he had Gray's Anatomy changed to say that these sutures in an adult skull are movable. When you're lacking that movement between the bones and the skull, your fluid doesn't move as well, your cerebral spinal fluid. So by just gently grasping this and pulling these different bones apart, including the TMJ, all these different bones, we loosen that all up. And the fluid moves through the skin of the brain and down the spine, and the person just goes to sleep, and I feel like Dr. Spock.
Can that be responsible for migraines and tension too, or can that help it? Do you think, or
it's interesting because, like I said, I've done several hundred craniosacral massages, and a handful of those people had chronic headaches, and oddly, I've only had minimal success. I was expecting to have more success. A lot of the real hard to combat headaches are hormonal, and at least any kind of immediate effects, minimal results, unfortunately, for migraines and headaches. But yeah. Any other questions?
Now, do you have your own business, or where do you work at?
Right now I'm working at Massage Envy in Wheaton, but I am and then I have a handful of clients that, I just have had for years, but in the next year or so, I'm going to be starting my own business. And what's interesting right now, because of the pandemic, there's a shortage of workers in the massage industry. So right now, I'm not taking any new clients for sports massage or therapeutic massage. I'm only taking clients for craniosacral because, we can only do so much, and we're booked. And, you get a larger man and you get a few of those in a row, and you can only do so much. And we're all tired.
That did not sound right, but you know what she means.
Yeah, there's a lot of innuendos when it comes. The innuendos are inevitable. So anyways.
Do you have any events coming up that you would like people to know about?
Yes, I do. And my paper is over here. I keep leaving the screen. Yeah, it's going to be...
Where's the paper at?
It's right...
Go ahead and grab it.
I am. You know, it's right here. Got it. Okay. We are having the first annual Green Health Fest at my sister's restaurant. It'll be me explaining more about my new business, Divergent Euphoria, and talking about cranial sacral therapy. My friend Jessica, she's a wellness advocate. She sells vitamins, skincare, different nutrition. And LeChime Skincare. Shout out to Miranda. So we're hoping also I'm going to get some representation from a lot of the local farms, and so people can be informed about that. But like I was mentioning, there's a shortage of workers in all industries, so they're not going to have any bodies there, but we're going to have information from local farms. And yeah, it's going to be really fun. It is April 23rd. At the open range at 11 a.m.
What's the address to the open range?
It's 1 Gulf View Lane. It's in Sugar Grove.
That's the restaurant, right?
Yeah, well, the Open Range Southwest Grill, it is on the Bliss Creek Golf Course in Sugar Grove, just west of Aurora.
Cool. Is there anything else you want to tell the people before we leave?
There is one more thing I want to say is... like I said, my new business that I'll be starting hopefully sooner than later is called Divergent Euphoria. And when you hear that, it's a little confusing. It's a wellness center. But what it is it's a safe space for neurodivergents like myself that encompasses ADD, autism, Tourette syndrome, OCD, or other non-neurotypical cognitive abilities. So shout out to neurodivergents, and we are looking for people who are neurodivergent friendly so that we have spaces that are safe, and that's a part of what my business is about.
All right, that's what's up. I want to thank you for coming on to the AILA View. You can also follow her on her Facebook page. Can you spell your last name for him?
Yeah, it's Lisa, and Limonez. And right now, it's not up and running, but... in the future, look out for divergenteuphoria.com.
All right, this is the KIK. I want to thank everybody for supporting us, and I guess that's it. Till next time. Peace. Bye.